We are introduced to the mitzvah of Tefilin in this week's parsha. And the Torah never really describes Tefilin. It says, Le'os al yodcha, le'totofos beineinecha. But it doesn't say how it's supposed to be. So for that, the Gemara teaches us that that's halacha l'Moshe Sinai. Kesher Tefilin hera lo'onav. The Rebbeinu Shalom showed Moshe the physical nature of tefillin, how it should be. So we know today we have tefillin shel yad and tefillin shel rosh. It's in a box, and the box is black. That's halacha l'Moshe Sinai. And the tefillin of shel yad contain 4 parshas of the Torah. Shema v'Yoim Shemoah is the first, and then it has the parsha Oyo Ki Yivyacho, Oyo Im Shemoah, Kaddish Li Kol B'chor. Those are the 4 parshas. The question is, what is the order of the 4 parshas? So everyone agrees that Shema v'Oyo Im Shemoah is first. Now, the Gemara in Menachos, which discusses this, says Havoyos be'emtza. Havoyos meaning the parsha of Voyo ki Yivyacho and the parsha of V'hoyo im Shemoah. That's Havoyos, and they're be'emtza. They should be in the middle. In the middle of what? So there are variant interpretations amongst the Rishonim, really amongst the Gaonim already. In fact, we can say there were variant interpretations even at the time of the Abayis Sheni, as I'll discuss with you in a few moments. And that came to be known as the difference between the tefillin that we call tefillin of Rashi and the tefillin of his grandson of Rabbeinu Tam, because Rashi in Menachos defines Avoyos be'emtza as being V'oyo im Shemoah, Kaddish Li Kol B'chor, V'oyo Ki Yivyacho. And Rabbeinu Tam defines it as V'oyo im Shemoah, V'oyo Ki Yivyacho, and then Kaddish Li Kol B'chor. And because of that, there's a difference. The tefillin shel yad is all on one scroll, one piece of parchment. But the tefillin shel rosh are 4 separate compartments, each compartment having one of these parshas written on parchment and inserted there. And one of the halacha, there are many nuances in tefillin, many halachas. So in the tefillin shel rosh, there's a hair that sticks out from the tefillin shel rosh. And where does that hair stick out? Between which parshas? So it's according to Rashi, it's between the 3rd and 4th. According to Rabbeinu Tam, the 2nd and 3rd, depending on the fact how we define Havoyos be'emtza. So both of these opinions have been the major opinions regarding tefillin. There really is quite a few opinions more different. But the Jewish people have paid scant attention to the other opinions, and these two have remained: the Tefillin of Rashi and the Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam. And on this, legend has grown that when Rashi passed away, when Rabbeinu Tam was 6 years old. So the legend is that when he was a baby, and Rashi held him in his arms, and Rashi wore tefillin all day, as did many Jews during the Middle Ages. So he reached up and he pulled his tefillin, the baby reached up and pulled his grandfather's tefillin off of his head. And the legend is that Rashi says, I see that he disagrees with me in how the parshas should be listed. In any event, the halacha is like Rashi. And the Tefillin of Klal Yisrael are like Rashi. There was a custom, though, and the custom was amongst only a select few, that they would also wear Tefillin of Rabbeinu Tam. In the Ashkenazic world, that custom was that they would wear first Rashi's Tefillin, and after Shmoneh Esrei, after Chazar Sashatz, after the Kedusha, then they would put on Rabbeinu Tam's Tefillin for the conclusion of the Tefillah. The custom amongst many Sfardim, and the custom amongst the Yemenites especially, is that they will wear both Tefillin at the same time. The Gemara says, Makom yesh barosh laniach shnei Tefillin. There's the place to put on the Tefillin. So naturally, it depends on the size of the box.
What about the arm?
The arm too.
Two of the arm?
Yeah. And you can see it in Yerushalayim. I've seen many people that wear both at the same time. However, the custom was, this is the way it's quoted in the Shulchan Aruch and the Sifrei HaPoskim, that we ordinary Jews should only wear Rashi's Tefillin. Rabbeinu Tam's Tefillin was reserved for holier people, people that, so to speak, were in a different spiritual realm, and who exercised great care in all areas. So therefore, in film, they wanted to be machmir. That changed. Changed for 2 or 3 reasons. One reason was the spread of Kabbalah throughout the Jewish people. Rabbeinu Tam's Tefillin is seen to be more Kabbalistically oriented than Rashi. There are entire discussions in the Sifrei Kabbalah about the Tefillin, and so Rashi was seen to be Nigle, while Rabbeinu Tam was seen to be more Nister. And when Kabbalah became very popular, spread throughout the Jewish world, so then people began to wear Rabbeinu Tam's Tefillin as well, even if they were not, so to speak, of the status that the Shulchan Aruch originally spoke of. When Chassidus came in the world in the 18th century, so then one of the hallmarks of Chassidus was that it insisted that people should wear Rabbeinu Tam's Tefillin as well. So then it became that, I can't say everybody, but a vast number of people put on Rabbeinu Tam's Tefillin every day as well. having nothing to do with their spiritual status or how they were regarded in the community. And it became one of the simonim of the fact that the person was a chassid, and therefore put on Rabbeinu Tam's tefillin. So wearing Rabbeinu Tam's tefillin then became much more widespread and popular, but to a certain degree it was, and I can't say lowered, but to a certain degree it was not as exclusive anymore. Because something that millions of people do is not as special as something that only very few do. So then there arose a custom, even amongst the Ashkenazim, that if one achieved a certain age, which is relatively considered to be old age, I don't know what that age is. Baruch Hashem, in our time, it's been pushed and pushed and pushed. At the beginning of the 20th century, the average life expectancy was in the 40s because of infant mortality, etc., but it certainly wasn't. Today it's in the 80s. So old age has been redefined, and thank God pushed ahead. So when a person reached that, or when a special occasion occurred to him, a miracle or something, he was, so then he agreed, it was like fulfilling a neder, that he would also wear Rabbeinu Tam's tefillin. I know of Yankov Kamenetsky, who was the ultimate Lithuanian, and nevertheless wore Rabbeinu Tam's tefillin in his later years because he had reached a certain age, and he said, well, if I reach that age, I'm going to wear it. And he recommended it to others as well. And so that became the norm. Now, there's a wonderful story here that Yigal Yadin, the former chief of staff and the archaeologist, he dug up Matzada. And they found in Herod's palace tefillin from the 2nd century before the Common Era. So he took the tefillin and they brought them here to Yerushalayim, and they opened the tefillin, and the tefillin were Rabbeinu Tam. So that's going back way before Rashi, way before Rabbeinu Tam. So now you had proof that the tefillin were like Rabbeinu Tam. So the rabbi said, no, that's why they were buried. But it's interesting to note that this apparently was an old discussion as to how the parshas and the tefillin should be recorded and in what order. So by Klal Yisrael, I think that's why they adopted both sides, that everything that we do is correct. And that becomes the mitzvah. And tefillin is one of the basic mitzvahs in the Torah. The Gemara says, Karkafta lo monach tefillin. A person, the head that never put on tefillin, so was doomed, so to speak. And that's why you find, for instance, in the airport, I mentioned that Chabad has a stand for tefillin. People come up and put on tefillin somehow, because they don't want to be caught into that trap of never having put on tefillin. So even if they don't put it on every day, but at least he put on tefillin in his lifetime, so he won't be over on Karkafta L'Mona Tefillin. Rabbi Chananya ben Akash Omer Rotza Gori Baruch Hu L'Zakos Yisrael Leficha Hirba Lahem Torah and Mitzvos Shenemar Adonai Chafetz Aman Sitko Yadil Torah Yadir.